Sounds weird.
PPP Shack.
What's wrong with you?
That's a Jim meme.
All right, well, I'm glad that we brought some critical analysis as well, not only to regional competition, but also here to this next Erangel game. We're going to be going into it. It's game number 75. Pansy and Sims, take it away.
We do need to take it away from the desk. You guys are losing your minds. I don't know what's happened out there. How many cups of coffee have you guys had?
Probably not enough.
Maybe
that's what it is.
Maybe.
I've just had a cup of coffee, so I'm happy.
Huh?
I brought my own with me, though.
Thanks for that deep analysis.
Not drinking none of this dirt.
Dirt. All right.
Yes.
Well, you know what?
Need my gold blend.
Oh, hashtag spawn. Nescafe, get in touch.
Doing photos with that. Yeah.
I'd love to see a
Don't
photo
need any
shot.
drinks, just caffeine.
Jesus. All right, let's pull it back to the game for now, at least. I'll be the one to start losing my mind if anyone is. I do see FaZe down on the old melee base. An M19 with a very late dropout, but they normally head over towards Prim, so that shouldn't be too much of a bother. I'm looking across any other switch-ups. Not really. It's kind of all said and done by this point. Have we seen a melee circle with FaZe actually being down there yet?
One, and that's when Liquid turned up and got battered on arrival.
Yes, you're right. You're absolutely spot on.
FaZe are getting more and more comfortable going here, though. I've noticed they're starting to send Mexi off down south a little bit, further afield. Help me.
I just like the beeping
cannot
teammate.
Get up. FaZe will be slightly upset with this one.
Yeah, feels FaZe, man.
You know what's going to be intriguing? To see if Reciprocity try and do a better job of what they did last time, which was get out early, go finish up looting at Mill to Power, and then work your way forward. I think they went out in 16 that game, so it didn't all go to plan, but the idea was there.
It's a good theory, and I'm seeing them in vehicles, but I don't see them doing it this time.
I'd expect them just to collect at this point,
get
consolidate the cars and get ready for it.
Maybe it's just depending on the quick loot they get. If they get good enough now, you know what I mean? Get your level 2'd up, a gun of some variety, bit of meds, just get the hell out of there. But I don't know if they'll do it, so we'll see. Constantine still swinging away. I'm so bad at doing that, by the way. Like, I swear to God, I still can't do drops. Long drops, quick drops, apps. I'm just hot garbage at it. Like, it's
It has
really
changed
upsetting.
up so many times.
Yeah, it's like finally I'll get like a grip on it myself. I'm like, right, you know, the wave, straight down, like whatever it is, whatever, you know, Wacky Jackie tells us to do.
Wacky Jackie YouTube, there you go.
Yeah, but I'm not 14. I don't have all the spare time in the world, Richard.
14-year-olds don't play Fortnite. That's another. Oh no, PUBG. That's another game. Never mind. Anyway.
Wow.
So
Nothing
let's get
wrong
back
with
to this
Minecraft,
one. Let's
Richard.
get back to this.
The original Battlegrounds.
It's going to be.
I really want to play Minecraft, actually.
So far, every single game's been mentioned on the broadcast, but this. So I think we'll try.
We're looking at it.
Let's
Richard.
pull it back in.
All right, you don't need to kiss the
Come
ring.
on.
You're not a North American caster. Calm down. Hey, Toffees in chat. I'm just playing.
I blame the desk for starting this off completely.
Hey, look, they made the video. They're the ones doing the whole banter, you know. They're the ones who started it. They have to deal with it.
Record going for it. They'll have to deal with TSM if they do decide to set up at the bridge. We do have Unity still in Novo, so if they get out a little bit earlier, maybe they meet Rec head on as they do try to make a cross on this one. The last time Rec actually did this...
They're doing it? Okay.
Now, the last time Rec did this, we do have to remember that I think TSM was at Zaki, so they didn't actually have any battle going through. There were a couple of members of G2 kicking it through Mill, so that give them a bit of a warning sign, but if they do it, I don't think they'll get us through as clean as what they did last time. They will have TSM to deal with unless TSM wants to make a push towards the circle. Have to be very aware of that one. Vitality is starting their rotate just out of their usual position. DA have already made the early advancement and they're ahead of the game. Vitality, sometimes we see them kicking it through bunkers, maybe just at the top of that long road that runs from the Potato Hill, just below them. DA just on the embankment of that hillside, taking the level 3 building, 3 tier 1 Senpai's falling off the back of his bike.
I really want to watch Reciprocity's rotation here. I'd love to get. They did the right thing of, you know, taking the coastal route when they did go over it, so they've clearly thought about it, but I would really like to see it, just to see how they get on. We'll be
I think that kind of worked
Senpai
again because TSM wasn't there.
Right, but TSM normally have, I think, one player close on the kind of southeastern cross when you come over. They don't have that many on that side. So I feel as though they can get away with it, and I guess we won't be watching that, but open the map stream, please. There we go. Let's see how it gets on.
Beach is clear. They should do it.
They should. There's still a couple of players in Milta. There's still 2 players for TSM in Milta, but Wookie and Gustav have already gone further north to get the complementary compounds. So I feel as though if anyone's going to do it, it'd be Michael or Rory, but I doubt that. That's not the big thing in their minds at the moment. They want to get their loot and then get to the position. Whereas for Reciprocity, maybe they're playing a bit of a different game at the moment. They still want to get their supplementary loot. They still want to maybe play a little bit more of a passive game on the southeast side. We do see Liquid and G2 very close by. A bit of a scary battle if it happens. Team Liquid taking this hill, little kind of dirt road that runs across it. Nothing new. A lot of these teams, if you've seen the circle before, will do a similar thing. We see the similar positions, the same sort of, I guess, compounds they want to take. It looks like TSM might be in a bit of a scuffle with G2, though. That's down by the southern side of farm. Not quite where the main farm area is, where the building's just off it, kind of in between that and Milta. And I don't know if TSM's going to commit to that either. I'm curious where they're heading in this one, because you've already got Gustav and Wookie. You'd imagine you'd want to try and maybe help them out in that position, because a lot of teams are heading over that way, and they're so split apart. If one gets knocked, it's going to be a tough revive.
They're a big fan of the garage compounds. I'd expect them just to completely ignore this one, evacuate the situation and go further afield. Get set up in your usual buildings. They're in a 2-2 split up top. At least with the 1-1s, they can watch the cross and watch the roadside. Vitality, that little area where they like to post up, they are in there, but they're not alone. Liquid's a little bit further down the road, so they have to be really careful. Any kind of knock or advancement on this, because it is a very prime position. It is real estate. If Liquid get a knock, you could damn well be sure they'll make an aggressive stance on it. One of the players actually going to disengage from that, from Liquid, maybe just to be able to watch their backside, which is fine. Rec have indeed gone to Milta Power. FaZe isn't home. So they'll just clear that out and finish off loot and get the gear, what they want, where everyone else is centralizing on this. CrowCrowd ends. Last team that'll be approaching this will be M19 all the way from Prim, looting through there and Very Pier.
They might be a little bit screwed over as well, considering how long it took them to get out to Prim, get the loot, and they've got all that long old route back. It could be a bit rough for their loot at this point, but they've got their win for the day, so they're probably already pretty chuffed.
Where else can you kind of gear up along this road into this circle? Rec have done the smart idea because they've got all the time in the world and no pressure.
Exactly.
For M19 to be able to do it, you'd have to hope that maybe the backside of Pachinki. Liquid are quick through it, so there might be a few doors, a few bells and whistles left standing for them that they can take. FaZe actually sitting back on a hill just to watch for any kind of engagement. Around the potato, just to the east of Pachinki. FaZe have fallen back because Winstrike did pull up on the backside and they don't fancy a fight just yet. No, that's simply because
FaZe have a lot of bikes, so they can just be super mobile. I'm pretty sure they have 3 bikes, if I'm not mistaken.
The issue is FaZe. If he gets a read on where M19 are going, they could cut them off here. That main road now is a no-go zone. That is absolutely treacherous to try and run that gauntlet, so you've got to be careful. There's a small choke point as well, just as you go onto the cliffside where that little cabin shack is. Wanted.
Yeah, and this is not bad for ENCE. We know that they're quite good at these sort of circles. They generally take Heaven, but it seems that 2-2, where they've got a slightly further southern presence, has really pressured the Knights, who are playing out of the hangar. So could be a bit of a bother for the Knights. A little bit of an early knock. I still see a helmet in there, so it can't be the end of the world for Wanted. He can get a heal off, and he might be able to pick up a new one in this area. He's got plenty around him. But Unity making the cross off the eastern bridge, last team away from it. They'll be pretty okay getting towards Milta, then it gets a bit scary, but beyond that, they'll be safe enough. NIP looking for their own territory. They're just, I guess, east of Rozhok and school sort of area, so they're still looking to find their way further south, to more of a central point. CrowCrowd going to take over Prison, the kind of hillside around it, M19. They are working their way forward, scouting as they go, being quite meticulous. They're not in a hurry.
Yeah, Volcano where NIP posted up. It's a really nice location. It'll be even more beautiful if the circle goes their way because you won't expect many people to be behind them.
Ooh, big northern shift.
That's not bad. Prime position here. Look at where the liquid compound is. Raise your edge. Expect them to meet up and take full residency in there. Plum center. Beyond that, Fields is a good shout.
I'd say ENCE's position's very good as well now.
ENCE, yep, Heaven. And then moving for, and then the only last remaining compounds where Gangxy's going to go. Those 3 are the trifecta, they're the strong points.
I would say there is always the potential of kind of taking over the eastern side, which is pretty nice for Reciprocity as well. They're in a good spot to be able to kind of jump into nice positioning off the back of it. G2 being caught in rotation. That's something you don't see every day. Normally meticulous and keep themselves very clean and crisp on that, but Udyr going down early. Bit of a shocker right in between Unity and TSM. Caught in a bit of a pinch in that situation. situation. They're still in a bit of a predicament. Brexco is not in a wonderful spot. He's trying to get a heal off, and G2 finally having a bit of trouble early game. Surprising, but it happens. Raise Your Edge going to try and hunker down, but DA are circling. They're looking for it. They crashed that before, and they took it as well. Remember that. Team Liquid not able to shift that far north. They might scout it and consider their options. The Knights not a bad spot, considering the ENCE as well, if that more northern compound, which can complement the one the Knights now have, so they've got good territory. No one's going that far north yet as Naya. I guess having that water in there, they're still thinking, okay, probably not going to hit towards that, probably going to stay central mass.
Finally, VOD is moving away from the compound just off the backside of Heaven.
Where's ENCE off to? Oh, he's going around the north, sorry.
Yeah, they're going to swing this out, take the blue. It's doable because it'll be a very slow-moving blue towards the upper end.
Yeah, you
and
got
then
the
all
slow
swing
side.
of that, and it'll be completely dead anyway. VOD does finally move away from that building that overwatches Volcano, so Winstrike have moved into there. They'll take residency. It was a good point to hold them back while the rest of NIP got a foothold in the field. He'll take the last remaining shack. So the fields are completely off barred. ENCE, they'll hold Heaven. That's going to stop any kind of flank between them. Set's going to be in trouble because he needs to just basically find a ditch and hunker down and pray no one's there. Yaznaya will be interesting. If we get a hard shift to the north, Rec or FaZe could be gifted.
They could, and I like the way Rec are at least considering there could be a more northern position, maybe with this kind of late or slight 2-2 split with Scoom and Shiv up there. They might just be scouting, looking for potential opportunity in these, further, garages north of the forest that runs around Mansion. Not a bad shout. We've seen it end up towards that way. If this circle goes towards it, quite surprising. Most still banking on the southern next hit. Your Navis, Vitalities, Team Liquid, Knights, G2, TSM, all still banking on that to a relatively sizable standard. Senya in the ditch over by Shelter. Well, kind of around the corner from Shelter, but it's a rough spot. It can be. And bets on where this next circle goes. Rich, say north or south? Or central? East or west? There's plenty of options, actually, but which one are you going for?
Central. We've
going
seen
center?
a hell of a lot of circles between that center point and where Set is. I remember Phase 1, I think we had 9 circle endings in basically in a straight road, just where the yellows are through the field, crossing the road from one side to another. We've had a hell of a lot in the north. Not too many so far in Phase number 2, but again, at this point, it's anybody's game.
Yeah.
Only FaZe is the team in the north, so should it go that way, they'll have the pick of the bunch, the lay of the land, do whatever they want and go wherever they want. They'll be playing off the back of this with ease. They can just keep transitioning, no one to pressure them, take gear. Noki, unfortunately.
The mutant not being kind. Who'd have thought it?
Put a stock on it, and it's short range. It's actually not too bad. So here we go then, and then look what's center.
Great for Reciprocity. Let's take our time on that one. FaZe, wonderful positioning. Reciprocity, using that eastern coast is nice, but they're being kind of leapfrogged by some of the Unity players. That Beryl is a wild creature trying to control that. Anything beyond about 10 meters is a bit rough. Tizran's going to get out. He's going to maybe just hold his ground for a second or two, maybe catch someone on the rotate. It is going to be Raffi heading past and Haxetti, but still, I don't see them kind of doing much with that. Scoom's going to try and get a really strong compound, and he might just get it. That could be the go signal, but it's a bit of a race against time here. All those eastern teams are sending it above the northern side of that road. We've seen it end there. We've seen it end where Scoom currently resides, in those sort of buildings. But FaZe Clan, got to say it, they've got a really nice position. It worked out going on that long play up the northern side.
So CrowCrowd have committed to the center. It's okay for now. Nobody can get to them as long as they keep teams back.
TSM
and no
crashing,
teams allowed
hold
to
on.
actually pull up.
TSM are crashing G2 here. I don't know if they're going to
ball.
carry on going. It's Razor Edge stealing towards DA. That's a beautiful death going down, but that's a nice little nade. It's going to slow them down on the hit. Michael's in there, though. Chris with the underhand. That's one of the players you do not want to go near, but the nade is good. Down to half HP, has to get the heal. You've got 3 players below him. Is he going to go off on this? I'm waiting to see if anyone's there to help him. Where's the rest of G2? They're in part of the other compound, really. He's out on a bit of an island, on a bit of a awkward spot. No nades to play with. No, I don't see a molly. Maybe a flash would be great, but with the Molotov burning downstairs, that's going to make it uncomfortable for Rory. That's spread enough that that's hurting him. Now, Wookie is going to make it hard for them to leave this one. Yes, Chris's molly does do well towards Rory. It might slow down the revive. What can this one man do? 13 bullets and a dream. Will he go for it? Yes, he does. Going to spray down one, but he can't do any more. All on his lonesome. The push came in. The damage is done. The revive should come out, and TSM should be able to get everyone back on their feet. Brex Cocaine, sure, they're looking on, but they're not close enough to do the damage.
That should be an easy revive there. TSM did commit to the cause to clean him out from that one, and fair play. Wookie was holding just the balcony side on the buildings in the rest of the mansion, so that stops him jumping out the back and regrouping with the rest of G2. Rory did fall, and again, that all comes off the back of the Molotov spreading across the wooden floorboards. He's up, he's on his feet, it's sorted. Liquid.
They're playing an edge game.
Yeah, this is a bit more of a passive Liquid than what we've seen in previous weeks and previous months. M19 are going to be in a hell of a lot of trouble. It might be in the circle, but once you're done with this one, there's nowhere really else to go. And for the simple fact you've got Liquid in an elevated POV, should they have a marksman, a monster, some kind of sniper rifle? Bolt action should do the job. Knock one of the players. The strongest teams at the moment, kind of the same as before, but maybe you could say FaZe Clan and Rec have joined in on that one, still with ENCE controlling a huge proportion.
That kind of square.
Yeah.
Around CrowCrowd,
and this is where
basically.
we've seen the circles. And if this goes center again, it's going to go to a usual location.
Still quite far north. That's
okay, that changes things up a little bit.
Now let's look at what this means, Rich, because that big chunk in the north, kind of south of Winstrike, is not necessarily all that playable. Yes, you've got the one shack in it, the one kind of I guess it's not a shack, it's a slightly bigger hut. Yes, it's playable, but it's not ideal. You do have the west portion of Yasnaya, but it's not ideal territory. You might have to opt for it. It gives options for people like Team Liquid to use that edge rotation to take maybe over territory that is not primed, but it's still available and it's safe. The south and the east, that's what I worry about here. There is not that many options.
We're going to have to run the gauntlet. NIP one side, ENCE on the other. The gatekeepers of the southern side of the circle, TSM and G2, are probably going to kick the hell out of one another. They have the woods to play with. Shadow, Vitality, now the Knights. And this is the problem. I said this at the start.
Oh my God,
everyone's
this is
just
ridiculous.
dying. Literally, this is the problem. By being in this circle, in this ditch, you are open to vehicles just crashing into you.
Oh, Minox is crashing as well. Hold off for a second. VOD just got swept aside. It looks like they just got the complete cleanup on that as well. NIP in separate compounds. You had two of them in the further building away. That is crazy. We're seeing so many vehicle knocks and some of them not ideal either. Nades coming through. Na'Vi are being kept on their toes out in the east. They've crashed towards what looks like, I think, Unity. Dastish, I think, is your last man on his legs. Blaston just got taken down, so I don't know how much Dastish can do. This is the compound slightly further east from Rafi and Skoom. Tizerin and Co are on the way, but it might be too little too late unless Na'Vi are still in that kind of transition process of getting back on their feet.
Over at Heathen, Vitality have made an advancement into ENCE. One player has already gone down. Grenades are in abundance here. You can see the completion going through Jorski, and the kill feed does go down to Shiv. It's not a kill, it is a knock. The M24 does the damage. Kaint now onto Wookie Bookie. That's a confirmation. Unity is gone. Na'Vi blasts them off the face of the planet. Still continuing TSM G2. We said they'll be kicking the hell out of each other, and that's exactly what they do. They're not inside the circle. They have to fight it out. It has to be completed. G2 are gone. TSM, they will continue onwards, and they keep 3 alive. That's pretty good.
That's really good.
Getting all 4 points and being able to keep 3 alive, you don't often see it.
That was an incredible bit of work. So for them, this is good progress. DA having some issues. It looks like being eliminated there. Don't know what's happened with that. That didn't show right in the game either. That might have been a crash. I'm not sure. There's still players alive that I can see. So I'm not sure what's happening in that situation. We'll get confirmation, I'm sure. Anyway, that aside, it looks like the Knights have got themselves dug in pretty deep here. They were the winners of the ditch, as much as you can call them winners of a ditch. Team Liquid up in the north, Winstrike taking over that one compound or that one house in the field. You've got FaZe still looking okay in this one, not bad at all, taking over kind of, I guess, the police station or whatever you want to call it, the kind of prison-looking building. I don't know. M19, southern side of Yasnaya, Na'Vi on east. I want to see where TSM go. It might just be a bit of a woodland elf play. Yeah.
I don't know what else you can really do off the back of that to get into the circle. Everywhere else in front is going to be kind of catastrophic, to be fair. They could get up close and personal, at least certain to the side of the road where now VR. That wood does extend a fair amount of distance. Liquid have swung it all the way around and coming on the north there at the colourful apartments all the way up at the top. Any final loot that they want, they can pick it up, but more than likely just keeping eyes on Winstrike out in the open fields. Raise your edge, you have to be proactive, and so are ENCE, TSM, all these edge players that may need to come in. CrowCrowd, again, just playing with whatever they had at the start. I mentioned it, that ditch where they took, yes, it's central, but it's very exposed. And if a team rocks up, you usually end up finding yourself going down. If the Knights make an advancement on them, grenade the living hell out of them, they could take center map here.
They could. Let's see who goes for it. Anyone just going to go absolutely crazy in this one? Vitality holding on by a whisker over by the southern side. ENCE are going to move up. They're going to leapfrog ahead into the next part of the compound. Senpai getting some contact towards Reels. A little bit of safety, but not for long. They need to prepare themselves for maybe other teams crashing towards this.
Knights need to be aware they don't get tunnel visioned. If they keep focusing so much on 2 members of CrowCrowd, I think Rage will turn up to this, remove them from that position and take ownership of it, because Rage don't have anything to play with apart from a few rocks and a few trees. But they need to commit as a unit. At the moment, I'm seeing FaZe going as a one-man band, while the rest of his team sit out towards the blue. It's a questionable one.
It's an info play, but it's a scary bit of info you might find. Jazz are going to take down Mikas. He's your last man alive of Vitality, going to do what he can. At least he's got a step in the right direction, and that's going to suffer. That's going to hurt ENCE a little bit there, because they had a really good spot to play from. Not ideal, obviously, but could have done the job. Quick peek out. That'll be him down. So let's see what he can do. Here comes the first crash. That's the Knights trying to send it over. And that car is a little bit scary for Senpai. He's being... Oh my god, what on earth did he just do?
He just run his teammate over with a vehicle. He
What
blew
have
it
you
up.
done?
He blew it up and it hit his teammate. What in good Scott name just happened?
What is this game? This is sloppy as you like. Team Liquid going to try and play through Yasnaya. They're being caught in the blender. It's FaZe going to get some shots in. M19 getting shots in. Just about everyone's piling in. Now DA do go down. I think they had a crash at some point. 2 more players still stood. They couldn't make anything else out of this game. Team Liquid are left in tatters as FaZe have held on well for now. Chris's nade finds Drayden. They're still trying to find their way into the circle in the southwest.
Oh, Chris continuing. Just the bombardment. There's another one there. And the Knights are down. And this is what we said. Raise your edge. They needed to be patient and get their time to strike. They do, and they come out on top. They are alive. Liquid, unfortunately, is not. They're gone. They rocked upon FaZe's front door and got battered on arrival. Na'Vi, they've also gone. They must have tried to make an attempt toward Reciprocity, I want to say.
Could be.
Just towards the backside of it. They've gone down. TSM will unfortunately be in the open. That's the next problem they have to stand by. Raise your edge lost 2 as well. There is a vehicle. Again, they're kind of safe. No one's actually near them. Same for CrowCrowd. Everyone's just keeping at arm's length from that central area. Meanwhile, in the north, 1, 2, 3, M19, FaZe, Winstrike and Rec have all got to fight if they want to make an advancement.
Yeah, leaving Yasnaya now is going to be so tricky. As much as Yasnaya can be great to give you some safety, some sort of, seconds to try and get in towards that top 10, pushing beyond that is incredibly hard. Incredibly hard. Southern hit, and this is surely going to be your game, ENCE. If there's ever going to be a time, you have a real shot at this. They have the runoff from the hill. It's very open territory, sure, but look at the northern side. Winstrike trying to position to catch FaZe on the way out. Reciprocity might be able to see this. M19 might just try and ignore that, but could get spotted by Raise Your Edge. But these teams that are centralized in the circle don't have a great deal of cover. Shiv going to catch off Senpai. And yeah, keep in mind, he has been knocked a lot, Senpai. So this is a perfect push. Scoom needs to be really quick on this. Temmie's pulled up. Mexi's there. 8C on the other side. Uber's nade is looking pretty primed here. If that goes in, that could bounce around the corner and Temmie could be in danger.
They're all going to hunker down for now. Keep an eye on that kill feed. Finally, Senpai does bleed out. And that's just coming off the back of Scoom's pressure, to be honest with you. He's done nothing but turn up, and Tab's been forced to focus on him. So he bleeds out, and CC are down to 1. Fuzzface finally finds a grenade, and Winstrike are just going to be completely open to it, to be fair. They're in 2 buildings, which is going to bottleneck these grenades. There's a second one as well, and now
ENCE.
all of a sudden they want to make an advancement and a strike on this. ENCE, they look towards TSM. It's time to run for them. Uber confirms the kills onto M19. That's a different fight completely in the distance. 2 members now.
It's push time. 8C's about to push towards Winstrike. They're down to just Jorski. He gets pinned against the wall, and FaZe Clan move forward, sweeping everyone else aside. But M19 did the same thing, or at least tried to. Gustav's been confirmed, and it looks like TSM are on their last legs. Michael is being spotted out from everyone. The Finns and Reciprocity all putting bullets in towards him. He's trying to stay alive, do everything he can. But for now, Reciprocity are knocking on the door. Fuzzface has made it across the road. That's pretty big. Shiv spots 8C trying to make the run. The Tab's nade could be the downfall of Scoom if that's ticked correctly. Good damage, not good enough though.
I'll tell you who could be on the chopping board next. Raise your edge. I don't think they yet have the information that M9 team's directly behind them unless they've decided to take a few shots, which they have. Okay, so now they will.
Oh my god, that nade! He didn't even know it, and it works out so well. Nade in the same spot as he did before. He tagged up Scoom on the first time. He takes down 2 on the second attempt. Reciprocity left in tatters now. FaZe still working their way forward. They're not doing too bad. M19 taking stress and attention from everyone else has given them a second to cross, and they're moving on this one. Revives looking like they're going to be likely for M19, but they're worse for wear, and Fuzzface looks hungry for frags. Elite player on the other side. The spray from 8C is good, but the turn is better from Constantine, taking him down. This hinders both teams. Neither of them are safe right now.
Tap, tap, tap. They keep on pushing. FaZe will knock one at least. The blue should do the damage to that. Nope, never mind. All of a sudden, Rustamar just appears and says, you know what? I'll take the free kill. Not a problem whatsoever. We take the hit and fall back. And that's what FaZe will do for now. Regroup themselves, get on back on the feet, get the meds off, and keep on surviving. How long that will be for Michael, I have no idea. He's looking towards the blue. This might be the end of TSM's run here in this game. 7 alive, 14 individual players. The tab, though, how you are alive, my friend, is completely beyond me, and how you picked up 2 kills off that vehicle with a randy nade is even more scary.
Yeah, and I'd be so annoyed if I was Reciprocity, considering the position they're in now. They would have had 4 players, good positioning, pretty devastating. Michael knows that his days are numbered. The smokes are dissipating. He's put down 1 more, tries to make it in. Scoom says no. We're down to 6 teams.
Which fight do you take if you FaZe? I think the better option would be towards Rex, surely, but Shiv's been landing some crackers with that M24.
You need to get rid of M19 first, because there's a danger they can swing back north. That nade is so perfect. It just bounces too far. If that was cooked, oh my word, that could have really done some work. Constant trying to move forward. This should be Rage dealing with M19, and then FaZe needs to move in off the back of it. Contact's made, the nade isn't bad. Chris is in danger. He has to move as well. The cars are still up. It looks like it's going to be go time. The smokes are being put down. Constantine gets knocked by Menox. Where's the next follow-up? Where's Elite Player in all of this one? He's not doing too much, but ENCE, they've done a lot. They've been on the move. They've left that compound while the iron was hot, and then made the strike. Squeaky catches off Chris, and that puts Menox in a terrible spot.
Follows up with a grenade as well. Chris is down, and Dome Menox just hiding in the smoke. Elite Player needs to make something happen here. If he can get an advancement and get up against those cars, he'll be able to survive. But he's got to fight on 2 fronts. FaZe Clan will now be able to see him. And he's also open to both Rustam and Trafeli on the backside. He doesn't know they're there. Menox forced to disengage completely. I don't know how many. He's got no smokes available whatsoever to him. So he's basically just hoping no one makes a further advancement towards all these gunfire. If he can keep them all at bay, he might be able to stay alive. But M19...
Oh, he's been tagged. Just about able to tuck in. I think that was ENCE who had vision on him. FaZe desperately trying to take down Elite Player. That would open the gate towards the position where Menox currently resides. And FaZe, you can see they're looking for options, because this is not ideal for them. Menox is just staying down.
As soon as this smoke goes.
Oh, the nade from Trifoli. That should push him out of position. Elite Player's moved up. At least he's going to be able to jump a spot. That's not bad going. Now, we are down to 4 teams. Let's look at who we have here.
ENCE, they're going to own the entirety of the South. 3 players alive. And over 50% of the map coverage if they want to advance forward. Rex still, the tab has been a pain in the backside for them, taking down 2 of their players and still kicking around and maybe potentially to do some more damage. If he gets 1 knock onto 1 of the players, it gives ENCE the time to strike. But FaZe is the team in the background to keep your eye on. They've been back building for a while. They'll have the information on where all these teams are, but the problem is they have to make the biggest ground play. It's an open run. Straight out of the trenches, they'll have to go over this minor, crest this minor hill that they have. Uber's trying to find some kind of respite for them, a rock, a tree, something.
They can't have much utility either. The amount of fights they've been in. Uber's at least found a way forward.
It's
bit
the
of a
angles.
safety line. Yeah.
That's the problem. Like, you've got Rec at one side and then ENCE at the other. I mean, it's good they're making it in, but as soon as one fight begins, another one should joining off the back of it. They're going to have to play super edge and maybe just lay it down here.
A little bit of contact. I don't know how much information ENCE now have across the board. They're running low on bullets. 17 spare on the SLR. You got to hope you got a 5 gun to support that. But outside of it, FaZe are just slowly finding a little bit more ground to play with. Reciprocity, or should I say Scoom, slowly creeping towards Tab. I don't know if he still knows there's a player here. He's got to know there was someone at some point. He might get vision on it.
He made a great play at the start to push on this. Again, just his presence stopped the Tab from getting the res off. But that grenade up against the vehicle is just beyond. I mean, you could say A, it was lucky, but B,
Trifoli,
you could also say you should have had info on that.
He's just nicked a nade off the box. That's such a big play. Now he's going to put the pressure down. FaZe needs to be careful. Tab gets spotted. Scoom cleans him out. It's going to be FaZe now sweeping north to east, it looks like. Dangerous fight to take. He's got Shiv and Scoom to fight against. 8C, FaZe. FaZe is getting a deep angle on this one, but the blue's going to move him forward. That molly could be big. This could be huge. Shiv could be burning alive, but no, it goes further behind. Uber's taking the fight against ENCE, and ENCE desperately need this. This is the win they would need so badly to try and take him away from that bottom 4. Shiv puts out a little bit of utility, and he gets spotted. It's just FaZe standing right now. Can he do any more? His teammates are falling around him. Scoom still stands, or should I say prones, as ENCE are on the move. This is what they've been trying to get. This is what they need to try and stay alive in the PEL. They know their days have been numbered. They know their performance has not been good. This is the moment for them to try and pick up the pieces. Maybe a glimpse at that last season, a reminder of who they were. But Rustamar and Trifoli already on the move in the northeast, trying to take the footsteps away from FaZe, where they just walked. And it looks like this battle is hilarious. Scoom's about to die to the blue if he doesn't move. He knows it. Fuzzface knows it. FaZe jumped the spot. And this should be ENCE's game. Finally, they've pulled through another win. So desperately needed.
Skirting on the edge of relegation. Finally, the Finns show what they're made of. A 19-point game goes their way. 9 kills in the bag and a nice win. It's not quite the start of the day, but it is the start of a fresh week. You know what? This could be just a bit of life that this team needs to be thrown back into. You need that positivity, you need those good vibes, you need that good rhythm. I mean, we've not really seen much of ENCE on camera, and generally speaking, bar Squeaky, they're a very assertive team. You look at them on screen, they're very serious.
Yep.
Not much banter that we see visually. But maybe this is what's needed, that win. Could this be the start of the comeback? All right, they're not going to win this competition, but if they avoid relegation, if they make it up into top 8 even and take home a bit of change leading into phase 3, it opens up a lot of possibilities, and I'm excited now to see if they can roll off the back of this. Confidence is key in this league, and so far I really feel like ENCE is lacking it.
That does seem to be the case, and for Reciprocity, a big game as well. No taking it away from them. They got some decent placements. Scoom staying alive as late as they did. You got to feel if that nade didn't take away 2 of them, they could have fought past so many more teams there. But it's how it goes. That's PUBG for you. Sometimes a nade can just catch you and put you down. So again, good for them to at least get some good placement there.
The vehicle madness on that circle though, where Tab was.
Oh god.
Credit to him for staying alive for so long. Definitely shouldn't have, and he fought his fights. Was it a bit of a lucky nade onto Rec? So what? It was preemptive. He had an idea of where people were going to be, and it worked.
Yeah.
More full players for sitting by vehicles that aren't necessarily blown up. I mean, we saw him blowing up a vehicle, but it crushed his teammate.
Yeah, that was a bit awkward, wasn't it?
Bit funny.
Yeah, it wasn't bad. It's always good when that happens. But I've got to say, for me, I'm just glad to see ENCE getting a win under the belt. You've got to say as well, the circle positioning did supplement and support them, but them playing out of heaven well, playing the circle well was really good. So I just hope that last part of the game when they were confident, taking the fight, sweeping aside, that's what rekindles